Hello, everybody. You've tuned into the Indiana State Police Roadshow, brought to you by the Indiana State Police Alliance and Cops for Kids, a subsidiary of the Indiana State Police Alliance. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to Tom Trial, the man behind the scene, waving at us right now from putting us on YouTube each and every week. So thank you, Tom, for what you do for us for the Indiana State Police Roadshow. I've got a couple of guests here today that have been with us multiple times, and we're going to talk about something that we've talked about before on the show, the Special Olympics Tip-A-Cop. Stephanie Manners from Special Olympics. Thank you for being here, Stephanie.
Thanks for having us, Rich.
I appreciate you coming in here. I understand you've had a busy morning, so thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come in here. And also Trooper Susan Rentschler from the Indianapolis Post, now a K-9 officer with the Indiana State Police.
Mm-hmm.
How's that going?
Wonderful.
Good.
Wonderful.
Had any success yet? Had anything happen with the K-9?
Oh, yeah. We have daily, usually. I mean,
good.
Never a dull day in the
And your dog's name?
Maverick.
Maverick. That's right. That's right. Yeah. That's a cool name. I like that name. So good things going, and something that you're involved with too, that you've been involved with a lot of years here, is the Tip-A-Cop. So Stephanie, let's start with you. Tell us about the Tip-A-Cop program, how that got started, and what exactly is going to happen around here in the Indianapolis area and when.
Sure. Well, the Tip-A-Cop program is something that has been very successful in Indiana and throughout the country, and it's where officers actually go into a restaurant and they visit with the guests and talk about Special Olympics and the partnership where law enforcement heavily supports our athletes throughout the country. And in Indiana, we started out doing a few of these, but it has become so popular with the officers and with the restaurants that we partner with. We've really grown that. And one of those ways we do that is with a national partnership with Red Robin, and we have that coming up. It's on October 21st this year, which is a Saturday, and we will have officers at 12 different Red Robins, and if you count them up, that's all of them, which is great. And they will be visiting with the public, and hoping that the public is interested in supporting their efforts, which every penny goes to Special Olympics athletes that those officers raise for the day. So it's really a great day, and the officers get to spend a little time visiting with the community, and the community gets to support some of the really great work that our officers do through the year.
I know it's a special event. I've participated in this in the past, and Red Robin is really a great partner with this. They go all out in helping us with this. But so talk a little bit about exactly what happens if a patron would come in. What are they going to experience when they come into a Red Robin restaurant?
Well, officers like Susan and many state troopers across the state and sheriff's departments, police departments will be in the restaurants. They'll welcome the guests, and they will be there talking about Special Olympics and giving them more information so that they know what Special Olympics is as an organization, which some people don't know as well as others, and just kind of educating them on how the partnership between law enforcement and Special Olympics works, why law enforcement is supportive, and inviting them to make a special tip, we like to call it, where they give a donation to the officers to go to Special Olympics.
And that's how many Red Robin restaurants?
There are 12 in Indiana, and I believe we will be in all of them.
Okay. And that's all over Indiana, central Indiana?
Yeah, we have a list of locations if you want me to give you those.
Well, yeah, sure.
We've got Schererville, Maryville, Valparaiso, Plainfield, Carmel Clay Terrace, Carmel, Michigan Road, Noblesville, Fort Wayne, Mishawaka, Evansville, Castleton, and Bloomington. So all across the state, really.
They are, exactly, all across the state. So what, are they all going to be at the same time? They're going to be specific times for each restaurant, or how does that work out?
Yeah, they'll have specific times. So we'll be there at lunch from 11 to 3, and then we'll be there for dinner as well from 4 to 8. So really, anytime you go and have a meal on that Saturday, October 21st, you should see some of our officers in there.
Well, Susan, I know you've participated a lot of years with this, I think ever since we've started with this. And where are you going to be at this year?
I will be at the Carmel, Michigan Road location.
Is that where you've been the whole time? You were down south before, weren't you? Down Southport.
It depends on what restaurant, but I've been at both Clay Terrace and Michigan Road.
So tell us about your experience with it.
I love it. It's a chance to do something a little different than my daily routine.
Yeah.
To go out and just interact with the public on a positive note. Swap stories. I mean, people always have interesting stories to tell us, you know, whether it's Special Olympics related or police related. But no, it's a wonderful cause. I've seen it in going to the games and meeting athletes. from what little we do, I mean, I feel like it's a small,
Portion.
a portion of what we can do with huge benefits. So I've seen it, and and I'm all for it. So
I've seen it firsthand with you there. You've a lot of times got a Special Olympic athlete at your location, and that really is a positive meaning for the people that are coming in and also for the officers there, isn't it?
well, and I think for the athletes, I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's a good time. They're with us; they get to help us. But the athletes being there is just another reason, to show everybody why we do it and how awesome it is.
I know the one Stephanie that we were at before with Susan and I, one of the female athletes come in, actually had her award with her medal that she'd won, and was so proud of that, and was telling everybody that came in how she'd won that and what she'd done. And that is a positive one-on-one experience that the patrons can experience if they come to that location, can't they?
Oh, absolutely. And we always invite people to come out and volunteer as well, and, meet the athletes and see what they're doing. The officers come out, but the general public, we couldn't do it without the volunteers that we have for events. We only have a handful of staff members, and it takes thousands of volunteers throughout the year to run these events, and we have great volunteers. And so we always invite them to come out and see what you're contributing to, because it's fabulous.
Yeah, and I know the Indiana State Police Superintendent Doug Carter is fully behind this, and has really gotten behind the Special Olympics and does a lot of things himself with it. And so kind of talk about that, what exactly the Special Olympics are and when they take place and what happens there.
Sure. So Special Olympics happens all year round. I think we have on average about 8 events a day, depending where you are in the state. So athletes will actually train for a minimum of 8 weeks, and then a lot of times longer than that, to have competitions locally. And then, depending on their outcome of those, they get to go to state competitions. The state competitions are the ones that we host out of our office. All of the local ones are held by volunteers, which is an incredible feat for those thousands of volunteers to be able to do all these great events. But statewide, we have a handful of events each year, the largest being Summer Games that happens in Terre Haute in June, which many of our officers will come out and contribute to that in a volunteer role as well. And then we also have recently had 2,500 athletes compete around Indianapolis at 5 different locations, I believe it is, in a number of sports, named the Eunice Kennedy Shriver Games, which is the founder of Special Olympics, which actually Eunice Kennedy Shriver just received the Arthur Ashe Award on the ESPYs. So you should look that up. It's a great presentation if you didn't see that. But that's named after our founder. And then we have bowling coming up here, where 4,500 athletes across Indiana will compete statewide, locally in sectionals, and then they will come to Indianapolis to bowl in our state competition. It's our second largest competition of the year. So just depends what season you catch them in. But the athletes are always training, and many of them do a sport every season or multiple seasons. So very active.
And they can do multiple sports too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Most of them do.
Yeah. I know they're busy. And did you say an average of 8 a day?
Yeah, if you add practices and sectionals and local competitions and invitationals and state competitions and fundraisers, I think we've figured it out that the best number we can get, it's hard to track, but is about 8 events a day.
Wow,
so there's a lot happening.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, again, you've tuned into the Indiana State Police Roadshow, brought to you by the Indiana State Police Alliance. Cops for Kids, a subsidiary of the Indiana State Police Alliance. We want to thank them for their support. Special Olympics, and talking Special Olympics here with Susan Rentschler and Stephanie Manor. Stephanie, I know a lot of things that you guys put on. I think recently down in Morgan County, they just had a pumper pool for Special Olympics.
Oh, yeah, they're fundraisers all throughout the year.
Yeah, and then your plane pool.
Yep, we just had our plane pool, which is a statewide fundraising event in August, where law enforcement teams, corporate teams, high school teams, all types of teams come out and bring up to 20 people to pull a plane 12 feet. It's kind of that adrenaline junkie event, and it's so much fun. And we had a great turnout for this year. It raised over $160,000.
Wow.
I think we were closer to 170. So really a great day there. And then we've got our bowling competition coming up, which is led by a committee of law enforcement, which Susan's also on that committee.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to her. Are you a good bowler?
I used to be when I was younger.
What happened?
If you don't use it, you lose it.
You lost your arm.
I lost my.
Are you left hand or right hand?
I'm lefty.
Lefty. Okay. So tell us a little bit about this. How did you get involved with the bowling?
It's just yet another thing, that we wanted to do. It's led by one of our Zionsville officers, so I'm on his committee, and I follow his lead. But it's great. It's really just fun to see other law enforcement.
When's that coming up?
November 18th.
November 18th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's going to be where at what location?
It's at the Woodland Bowl on the north side.
Yeah, it's 96th and Keystone area right there.
Okay.
At Woodland Bowl.
Okay. And so tell us how that works out. Is it you have to have a team of so many? You have individuals, or how does this work out?
Well, you get up to 4 bowlers. We've had teams sometimes that, someone will get sick or have something come up, which is fine. And a lot of times we can just add an athlete to their team, which people really love.
Yeah.
But every single team gets an athlete. It's what we call a unified event. It's where people with and without disabilities compete together in a sport.
Okay.
So every team gets an athlete to bowl with them. And then they bring their 4 people. So, again, just like all of our events, this is law enforcement led,
right.
But it has all kinds of teams. So we have a lot of civic groups as far as Lions clubs, Eagles clubs, Knights of Columbus. A lot of our friends around the state and different organizations come out and join us for this. We have some folks who just come out as a group of friends. We have high schools. We've had youth teams. We've had everything. And a lot of law enforcement teams and FOPs and things like that. But our goal is to one day fill up the bowling alley, and I believe they've got 70 lanes. So
wow.
So we're getting there. It's
getting close.
Yeah, it's only a few years old. So we're definitely working our way towards filling up that bowling alley. So we'd love to have people come out and join us.
So let me get this straight. You have teams of 4, and then plus you have an athlete. So you have 5.
Yes.
Okay. So you have 5 on a team. Is this a one game or double elimination, or how's this work?
They play 2 games, and for the awards, we take their best game as a team, and we put that towards the awards. We've got first, second, and third place, top fundraising team, which is really one of the big awards, and we've had some people really knock that out of the park. And we have an FOP award, which is for any law enforcement type team. Okay. So we kind of have a little competition with it as well. So.
Yeah, there has to be friendly competition between law enforcement.
Is it friendly?
It's very friendly. That day, at least. You never know what kind of talk happens.
So you don't
afterwards.
put sand on their lane, or
we can't talk about it.
or oil or anything on their lane or anything like that. I think that's what I do.
We
so
try to keep it clean.
Do the athletes make fun of you when you bowl bad?
You talking about me specifically?
Yeah, you specifically, exactly.
No.
Yeah.
If you're on the committee, you don't have to bowl.
They're always pretty good, so I already know I'm going to lose.
You're all ready for that anyways.
Yeah.
So that's going to be November the 18th, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And if anybody wants to register for that, we have the registration already up. It's at firstgiving.com/SO Indiana, just like Special Olympics Indiana. Or they can go to our website and find a link to go to that, or just call the Special Olympics Indiana office and I can get you registered. But it's only $200 a team, so it's really not too bad of a fee. And you get an online fundraising page, so it's Susan can
That's pretty easy.
attest that
Yeah.
$200 is pretty quick to raise when you
Yeah.
tell people it's for our athletes.
What time is this? What time does it happen?
Right around 11, we have lunch, and while everybody's getting registered, that we provide, and we have a silent auction there for people to look at, and then we start bowling, and it's a pretty quick, fun day.
Yeah,
So.
2 games. You're in it now.
Yeah.
You got your lunch paid for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a good time with the athletes. You're inside in a November day.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Absolutely staying nice and warm and dry and having a good time. So that sounds like a great event. So we got about a minute left here. So the Tip of Cop is coming up October the 21st.
Yes.
Red Robin restaurants around throughout central Indiana, all 12 of them. Make sure that you go to those locations and give generously to...
or at least just come see me at Michigan Road in Carmel.
Exactly. Make your
I mean, if
numbers
you're gonna go
soar.
anywhere else.
Right? Make your numbers soar.
That's right.
No competition there.
No
either.
competition.
And then the bowl of... What are you calling this?
It's called Strikes for Special Olympics Indiana.
Okay. And that's going to be November the 18th at 96th and Keystone, right?
Yes.
Woodland Bowl?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Good. Susan's going to be there also, so be
Yeah.
on her team.
That's right.
Pump it up. Well, thank you for coming in, girls. We appreciate you being here and having a good time with Special Olympics, and hopefully we'll have people come in and give generously.
Yes, thank you very much for
thanks,
having
Rich.
us.
Well, again, you've been listening to the Indiana State Police Roadshow, brought to you by the Indiana State Police Alliance. Cops for Kids, we've been talking Special Olympics, Indiana. Make sure that you go to those locations and give generously. We'll talk to you next week. Roadshow out.